Hey guys, it's Lindsay, and we're finally moving out of our current bullet journal and heading into a brand new one. So it's always bittersweet kind of leaving things behind, but I'm so excited to start this new one. This is Notebook Therapy's Constellation edition, and this one has a really cool linen cover with gold detailing, and it came with this super cute pin. Here are all the supplies I'll be using for this video, so it's going to be a good in-between of fine liners, Tombow pens, some washies, and some different types of calligraphy pens as well. And I am going to actually start off by kind of making my imprints for my journal. So since this is my actual first time doing like a mid-year move-in to a new book, I've never actually had the chance to record myself writing my actual name. It's kind of weird, but I do like it, and I guess everyone knows how to spell my name at this point. So here I'm actually gluing the very first page to, I guess, like the cover page. I don't know how you kind of call that, but I don't like how it flaps open really weird because of the binding, so I just fixed it with some tape and voila, all set. My theme was actually pretty easy to decide because I've actually been really wanting to do this for a while but never had the right moment in life to do it. But essentially my theme was kind of inspired by like Japanese pastries or just cute pastries in general, but it was just really hard to kind of decide how I wanted to do it in terms of like, did I want to do painting? Do I want to do watercolors, colored pencils? But I just really stuck with my tried and true markers because one, it's like super easy, but two, when I actually started off my bullet journal for the first part of the year, I actually hated how it looked because I thought, here's Lindsay being daring, doing something totally different and new, and I ended up doing watercolors and it was trash. It was so bad that I actually don't like looking at the beginning of my notebook. It's just a disaster. So part of me is like, Lindsay, not again. We will not make the same mistake with watercolors. Let's just stick to what we knew how to basically work. And I just stuck with my markers and really focused on getting a cutesy look with it by doing very weird, I guess weird you can call that, outlining for the little drawings because that what really takes it to another level. But also when I apply my white gel pen for some highlighting, you'll see that it actually brings it to life. It almost looks too cute. And I'm glad to say that after all the countless gel pens that I've bought, I finally found one that actually works. And I say that because I've been struggling for months figuring out what type of gel pen actually works for me. I've tried the jelly rolls, I've tried the Posca pens, I've tried everything and then some, and I actually found one I really love. And I'll leave everything linked in the down below, but it's just like, oh, it's so good to have a really good white gel pen. And yes, the infamous bubble letters have made a comeback. I don't think they're leaving anytime soon, but I actually regret outlining them in this like berry color because it just doesn't really match with the rest of the theme, and you'll see later on in the flip through I actually went back and changed it to black. At this point, I thought that it was still missing a little bit of something, so I went and added some drop shadows, but also I incorporated some scrap paper bags. We love a good grocery store recyclable moment, but I went and pretty much used my white gel pen to write Sweet 2021 because, let's be honest, it's been kind of hard for me and I just need the rest of the year to treat me good. There's a few new things that I'm actually putting into the move-in section of my notebook, and one of them is actually being a future log. Before, I always thought that a future log wasn't super necessary for me. I don't know why, I just was never really fond of the idea. But as I've been doing bullet journaling, it pretty much stinks when you can't do, future dates, appointments, birthdays, anything like that without having the month of it set up. So I pretty much wanted to test out what a future log would do for me. So I pretty much just incorporated it the last few months that I have left for the year. And I didn't really want to set anything too forward, I guess, past December, because I want to save that for my actual New Year setup. So I actually don't have a mini calendar stamp. I wish I did, but I honestly am one of those weird people that I don't mind handwriting everything out, but I'll save you guys the trouble and fast forward it. I tried to keep the drawings very minimal for this part just because I wanted to keep as much, I guess, page space as possible, just because I like to prepare for if I have a lot of things coming up, which I usually do towards the holidays. I want to make sure that I have enough space to have that, because this page, or I guess these 2 pages, are going to be solely dedicated for my future dates. And yes, I did actually make these, I guess, cute little pastries inspired by matcha. So basically, if you guys don't know, matcha is like super trendy, but it's just ground up green tea leaves in a powder form, and you actually can whisk it into water or milk. And I kind of know too much knowledge about matcha just because my last job, I actually worked at a tea place, and I would say the best matcha you can get is the ceremonial matcha, which actually comes right out of Japan. It is so smooth and so creamy. It's like really top grade, and it's really expensive, but it's honestly worth it. I felt like I left too much space, so pretty much I put some washi tape to make things look pretty, but also I added some of these lines that look like notebook paper lines, and it just helped give so much more color and so much more to the setup. So for my pastry drawing, I don't know why, but this one was the hardest one out of them all because I struggled making, I guess, like a trapezoid shape. I don't know, like it was just so unnecessarily hard for me, but I actually loved how it came out. It's supposed to be like a little custard gelatin dessert. I don't even know what you call it. It looks really good. I tried my best to make it look not so sharp lined because it's supposed to be like jiggly, so it's like very round, and I definitely recommend doing the highlights because that's what's gonna make it look very like shiny, reflective, but round instead of like sharp angled. I purposely made a content page because I want to be able to take accountability for posting more on my channel, because I really do enjoy making videos for you guys, but sometimes it's hard when you have a full-time job. And my job, since March actually, I've been doing almost like 44 to like 52 hours a week, and that's a lot. it takes a lot out of me mentally, physically, and sometimes it's like I struggle to even get a simple plan with me video out. It's been really tough, but I want to try and make it a little bit more of my priority because I really do like drawing. Growing up, I always felt self-conscious thinking that my drawings were average or I'm just like a human photocopier, because it was always easy kind of looking at someone's drawing and kind of replicating that versus actually having the mental muscle to do it yourself. And I always struggled with it. So the one thing I can really say that I love the most about bullet journaling is the fact I get to work on my art almost every day, and I've really seen the improvements since the first time I've actually bullet journaled, which was back in January of last year. And I could definitely say that practicing does make it happen. My goal with this half of the year already starting, I actually want to have goals. And so I made this page dedicated to that because I want to kind of look back and see if I've made any progress towards any goal. And to me, no matter how small the goal is, as long as you can still accomplish it, that still means something. And so I wanted to focus on 3 different aspects of my life, which is my personal life, work life, and also my health. And I think especially the last one, my health, is super important because sometimes I tend to not really take care of myself in the simplest ways of just getting a good night's sleep or making sure I ate breakfast that day. Like simple things like that I want to be doing. I decided to bring back something I had in my last bullet journal, which was a travel checklist. And basically, I am planning like a big vacation next summer. Hopefully everything, cross fingers, ends up being okay. But pretty much, I like to make sure that everything that I need to get done for this trip gets checked off. I'm not gonna say where I'm gonna be going, but definitely it's very fun. I went there for the first time in December of 2019 before COVID became a mess and ruined everything. But ever since then, I've been really wanting to go back. So pretty much this is a good way for me to utilize the front of my bullet journal, but really to make sure that everything that needs to get checked off does get checked off. The only difference with mine is it has L and J. L meaning me, as if I got to it, or J as in my partner, if he actually got to it. And it's a good way to kind of make sure who did what and things just really don't fall behind. I never brought this up before, but I actually started pen paling earlier this year, and I never really brought it up because it's still fairly something new for me and the other person, and I wanted to give the respect and privacy of the pen paling, I guess, situation. But pretty much I wanted to create like a little checklist of when I do receive letters and when I do send them out, just so I can keep track. But obviously, being Lindsay, I don't really pre-plan anything, and so my spacing is off, I will be honest, and you can actually tell I noticed in the video because here I realized I actually forgot to do proper spacing. But essentially it still works for me, but it's just a good little spread to keep track of my pen pal letters. My final quote page, and pretty much I wanted it to be simple with just one drawing because I felt like I drew too many snacks and it's actually made me like really want like baked goods, which I shouldn't. But I ultimately made this like Swiss roll dessert. I don't know. I know Swiss rolls are chocolate, but this one is strawberry. Like it's like rolled up like cream puff. I don't know what you call it, but it looked really good. And so pretty much I kept it very simple. But what actually brought the drawing a little bit out of the page was actually doing some shadowing. And really what I did was I used the same marker, but I just went over the basically outlines a lot more to create a shadow. And it actually gave a layered effect. I don't know if what I'm saying is confusing or not. Most likely it is. But I just needed to rely on shadowing, adding some highlights, and really pulling off the drawing to make it look more than just like a flat 2D. And once again, this gel pen has really make a difference in this spread. And learning my lessons from earlier, I made sure to basically outline my bubble letters in black instead of like anything other than black, because if I had my spreads more colorful, meaning like the actual inks of the pen, it would make sense, but if anything, this looks much better in my opinion. And adding the final little details to my quote page, I still thought it was too empty, so I decided to add a border, which actually looks so freaking cute and really tied everything in. It's a really nice way to end off this mid-year move-in, and I just loved how everything turned out. And here's a final flip through of my mid-year move-in to my new bullet journal, and I really loved how everything turned out, and I really love the color choices because I really just winged it, besides just knowing that I wanted to do like a dessert theme. But if you guys do love this setup, then don't forget to hit that like button, but also don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you know the next time I do upload. And thank you as always, and until next time, bye.